buddy? What it is? What's going on, folks? The Savage of Wall Street is live once again. Welcome, my fellow um, Neanderthals and brethren. Once again, it is I, the credit Savage of Wall Street, coming at you live. Um, you know, for the third time in a row. So this is kind of crazy, but I find myself to have a little bit of a downtime right now, and I figured I'm going to come in and talk about the stocks that I trade on the regular, and kind of how to go about trading them in the coming up week. Right, tomorrow is Monday, so for all of you guys that are degenerates and gamblers in the stock market and that are, ready to pounce on whatever it is that Wall Street has in store for us tomorrow, we are ready. So as you can see, I have my shirt on, is the give them nothing shirt. And that's pretty much what we're going to try to do, right? Is give them nothing and take from them everything. I'm excited. I'm ready to go because I think tomorrow is going to be a little more blood on the streets. And I'm excited, man. The companies that I'm trading, RXRX, Palantir, Tesla, C3.ai, NVIDIA, Unity, BBAI. All these companies are just ready for me to take advantage of all the gamblers out there and take premium, right? I did sell a ridiculous amount of covered calls last week, and tomorrow, let's see what happens. I'm looking to buy back maybe a couple of them because I think we're going to have a nice little dip. We're definitely frothy, and we're starting to show weakness in the market, right? I know that for the most part, some stocks are at 52-week highs and close to it, but they're just not going up, right? There's just like a ceiling, and I think we're just waiting for that shoe to drop. I'm cautiously optimistic, but overall, this is it. This is how I feel about the market. Whenever I feel bullish, you'll know because I'm going to put a bull back here. Right now, that's going to be my thing. So you guys will know how I feel about the market based on what you guys see back here. If you guys see a bull, well, you'll see a bull and you'll know that I feel a little bullish. But for the most part, I'm a bear by trade, so to speak. And that's just how I feel about the overall market right now, right? What do we got here? Let's see here. We have Cannon Fodder saying, "Sup, Savage and Money Makers." What's up, Cannon Fodder? How you doing, man? Thank you for watching. Ken's mom is here again, man. How you doing, Ken's mom? Thank you for tuning in. Jude K saying, "Hey, salvaje." What's up, Jude? How you doing, my man? Muy buenos dias to my Spanish-speaking brethren out there. Buenos dias. Otro día de el mercado, and we're gonna make some money, right? So I'm ready to go. I'm excited, and let's see what this market has in store for us, right? The first stock that I'd like to talk about that I'm trading is Recursion Pharmaceuticals. The ticker is RXRX. It's one of my Savage stocks, and people have been asking me about it. I'm very bullish on it, right? However, it is very highly shorted, right? It's if you were to read the business summary here in Charles Schwab, right, it'll tell you Recursion Pharmaceuticals Incorporated operates as a clinical stage biotech company, engages in the decoding biology and chemistry by integrating technological innovations across biology, chemistry, automation, data science, and engineering to industrialize drug discovery in the United States. That's a mouthful, right? Now, what does that mean in English? Basically, they are a biotech company, um, so to speak. They actually have the rights. Their product is having access to an infrastructure, a genetic infrastructure that does a ridiculous amount of tests using AI, and they can basically go into different phases of clinical trials faster by loaning their biotech to pharmaceutical companies. Now, here's where the money is. Pharmaceutical companies have, a finite amount of money, a finite amount of time. Time is money when it comes to pharmaceuticals, right? Because they only have so much time to come up with whatever it is that they're working on before the money runs out. That's bottom line. So if they're able to then outsource all of that clinical trial to someone that has millions and millions and millions of trials already per AI integration, right? And then they put their data in and they run mock trials instead of running one, per month or per every few months and taking all this time to do it. Their program, right? Their company does millions of tests in a short amount of time, and they're able to then come out with this is the best testings that we have. These are the ones that you should not do, right? And so that saves biotech companies a ridiculous amount of time and money. Then when they find the favorable test, they can move on to the next phase. What does RxRx do? Well, then they are able to receive royalties because now they're a part of that company, right? What they do is they sign a contract saying you have used, our you have used our copywritten. What is the word that I'm looking for here? They basically have used their company, right, to run those trials, and by doing that, they're now part of that trial. They can now take a cut because they have saved this company ridiculous amounts of time and monies on this trial. And if they do come across some type of medication, a pill, whatever, and it works out, well then RxRx will get royalties for however long the contract that they signed is, and that's where the money is, right? So RxRx is actually working with companies like Bayer. Let's see here. I actually do know that they are working and have agreements with Bayer, the University of Research, Utah Research Foundation, Ohio State Innovation Foundation, Roche and Genentech and Takeda pharmaceutical companies. So these are some especially Takeda and Bayer. They're very big players in biotech. And if those companies are now using RxRx so that they can go through clinical trials faster, that just tells you how advanced RxRx is in their technology, right? So I'm very bullish on it. The company is heavily shorted right now, right? I think there's like 430 million shares outstanding. And I think 27% of those are shorted. The float is fairly low, and the short interest ratio is 4.28. That's big, because when a company that's this close to exploding and it's being shorted, it's going to take a long time to cover, right? Especially when it's a biotech and they have so many companies that they've already got contracts with. Let's say, for example, RXRX goes from, it could go from $5 to $8 like that in a couple of days, right? It could go from $8 to 15. And if it goes from $8 to 15, it's game over, because then shorts are going to have to cover that. There's not many shares in existence, right? And so you got to cover 27%. That takes time, especially if there's no shares available. And then if you say, for whatever reasons, let's just say that Wall Street Bets gets a hold of them, or like some big investor comes in and just takes 50 million, 40 million shares out of the market, it's a wrap. This is going to $100 a share, 80 to 100 easily. And so that's why I'm so excited about it. It's a really good company. I like what they do. I like the players, but it just happens to be shorted. I was investing in it before it got heavily shorted, and then it started getting heavily shorted, and I loved it. I sold, I think, some $12 covered calls that I rolled to 15 when it went to 15, and then I wrote it back down to where it is now, and I've been killing them with covered calls. At this point, I think my cost basis is like $1 or something like that, so which is ridiculous. But yeah, so I'm excited about it. I think I've talked about it in the past. It's one of my top 10 stocks for a reason, and I'm looking at it tomorrow. It's actually uptrending, and I think it can go to 8 quickly. Once it goes to 8, I'm going to sell some $10 covered calls, and if it goes to 10, I'm selling some 15s. Out 3-4 months, and I'm going to take a nice chunk of change, because the IV on these is pretty high, and it can go above 100 very quick. So, it's a good company. I like the stock, and it just happens to be heavily shorted. I don't know, of other companies that are being just as shorted as much as this one. I think CRISPR is one of them, and we saw what happened with CRISPR. We know what's happening with Open Tech, right? Open Technology. Or Open Door Technologies. I'm sorry. And then I think C3.ai was being very shorted when it was in a $10-11 land, and it just went to 35. So this is what happens. When you're dealing with a company that actually is a good company, and you're long on it, and it gets shorted. I have a knack for finding these types of companies, and I do my due diligence. I find out, who their CEOs are, what their board looks like, and I'm just like, what, this is a company I like to invest in, and I go in, and then I make money. So I'll be talking about it in the future. This is a company I'm willing to hold. I've already held it for 2 years. Maybe another 3 years, 4 years. This is going to be a $50 stock, $60 stock easily. It's just a matter of when. Right. So let's see what happens. I'm excited to see tomorrow, what it trades at. It's almost at $6 at this point. And, let's say, like I said, if I was somebody that's starting, to have a look-see at RXRX, I would do my due diligence, and I wouldn't be scared to go to, let's say, August, September, maybe, and sell a $5 put in a stink bid of 55 cents or 60 cents on it, right? You're getting more than 10% for your troubles, and if it doesn't pan out, then it would have to come down to 89 cents from what is it first of all, from where it is first of all, right? So you're already winning. If you really want to put those shares to then do some $6 cash secure puts. Go to September, ask for $1.10, right? And then you're gonna get almost 20% for your troubles. You're basically getting a great stock for and getting paid $1.20 for it. So you really are buying it for $4.80. What is wrong with that? The 52-week low, I believe, was in the $3.79. I sold a shed load of $4 cash secure puts. Those I bought already back. I sold $5 cash secure puts. I still have some outstanding. I have some $6 and $7 cash secure puts that are expiring in I believe in September, some in December, some in January. But I mean, I'm in it for the long haul, right? Um, let's see what the market has in store for us when it comes to RXRX. If you do own the stock and it happens to run to, like, let's say 650 tomorrow, right? I personally, if I wasn't already into the covered calls, I would go to September 19 and I would look at, I don't know, selling some $7 covered calls for 70 cents, get 10%. Worst case scenario, you get taken out at 770, right? Because I mean, $7 plus your 10%, that's 70, and if your average is $6, and you're selling at 770, you've already made over 25% back on your money. What is wrong with that? I mean, and rinse and repeat. It's just, I mean, it's an idea, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see, what else do we have here. Mark C saying, howdy, number 3. What's up, Mark? How you doing, brother? I'm Lobster Man from the Discord. Did you like that slot? Lobster Man, okay. I know who you are, brother. I love that slot machine, man. It's a Money Python, right? You know what? I'm actually going to go to Reno this coming up week to celebrate my birthday. And I'm gonna go and look for that machine, man. I hope they have it somewhere because I'm very excited to try it. I showed it to my wife and she was laughing, but I am definitely looking forward to maybe running into it and putting $100 in there and see what happens, man. I want to take some video of that. I'm looking forward to that, man. All right, so let's see here. Mark C saying AI programs. Are we talking about RXRX? Yeah, they use AI. I'm sorry, they use AI in their studies. That's kind of what their whole spiel is. Charlie's just saying, "Hey, Savage, hi everyone. What's up, Charlie?" So basically, this is not another Sava, is what you're saying. No, it is not another Sava. Sava is actually it's a biotech company, right? It's pharmaceutical actually, and so no, this is not another Sava at all. This is actually a product that other companies are using, right? Sava is a product that they were in the clinical stages, for some pharmaceutical drug, and that's the difference. One of them is a pharmaceutical drug, another one's a biotech that works with pharmaceutical companies. It's a different thing altogether. Although I'll be honest with you, man, I'm still in Sava. This is exactly why when everybody was doing $20 and $30 cash secure puts on Sava, and I was doing tens, and I think I got like 665 for some $10 cash secure puts. And then when it came down, I rolled over and I got another dollar or $1.50. So like my cost basis, if I was to get put those cash secure puts, would be like $1 and change. So this is why you have to take your time when it comes to choosing these companies that are biotech companies and pharmaceuticals, right? You don't ever want to extend yourself either. Like I would never YOLO, and I would never invest 50% of my portfolio, 40%, 30% of my overall portfolio, like on a company. That's just silly. This is exactly why you have to diversify your portfolio, right? This is why you say, hey, this is a company I'm looking at. I'm going to put in, I don't know, if it's a company that's worth $8 a share, you buy 100 shares and see how they treat you. Get accustomed to seeing how it moves, right? Trade it for a while, and then you'll start seeing patterns. Sava is sadly one of those that, funny is that I actually traded Sava like 4 years ago when it was, I think, $40 a share or something, because they were working on a drug, and it went to like $100-something, and I sold because I just back then, I think like 5 years ago actually or longer, I wasn't doing covered calls. I was just buying, holding, and then selling for a profit. So I'm actually up on Sava, but when I did sell, cash secure puts, and I got put those shares. At this point, I think it ran to like $3 for a hot minute, and then I did covered calls for January 2026, and I think I bought in like 80 cents. So I mean, this is what happens, right? You're not gonna have, all winners. It just, I said it before and I'll say it again. Whenever I go live, I say you're gonna fail, you're gonna lose, you're not gonna bat 1,000. It's just not, it's not gonna happen. Some of the best traders in the world, they're right 55% of the time, 60% of the time. It's just being right more than you're wrong, and then just being positive. It's the win. I'm batting maybe like 800 at this point, or more. But you can't pick all winners, brother. That's just the way that it is. It's just investing. It's one of those where sometimes good companies they go under. Look at what happened with First Republic Bank, right? It was a great company, great bank. They did nothing wrong. It was Contagion that took it. And it was the Silicon Valley fiasco where people thought, oh my God, I'm going to take a big hit. I want all my money. There was a bank run, and they liquidated their assets because then they just didn't have enough money to sustain themselves, and people just wanted their money. And it was such a great company that they didn't tell people to come back the next day for their money, or to come back in a week or see what happens. They said, we'll have your money ready for tomorrow or by tomorrow. But again, yeah, there's some companies that you win on, and there's some companies that you lose. As long as you win more than you lose, that's the name of the game, right? So let's see what else we got home. People here. What are you guys trading, by the way? I'm very curious to hear, what companies you guys are trading. I want to go back and forth with you guys. I don't want to just talk and give you all my spiel, because it's pretty one-way street in that aspect, right? And I'd like to be a little more back and forth. If you guys are trading a specific company, or are curious about a specific trade, let me know, and then let's see what we have over here, and I'll give you my perspective. We got Unity. I'm trading Unity, and this puppy's running, man. I love it. I mean, my total returns are over 65%. That's beautiful. It's 36.81 right now, and let's see what happens tomorrow. If we open and Unity then say it runs to like $38, tomorrow, don't be scared to write some. I like to take big chunks, right? So I wouldn't be scared to write. Oh man, it's the IV's pretty high. It's over 77%. So shit. If it runs to like $39 tomorrow, I would not be scared to write 45s for January and ask for $6. You basically are selling it for $51. The stock, it's at 36. It's a 30. I mean, that's a win, right? That's a huge win. So, and if it goes down to like, let's say 35, 34 tomorrow, don't be scared to write some puts, sell some puts for January, so $30, cash secure puts for January. Ask for $4, ask for $5 for them. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is a company that it's going to go $100 a share. It's going to go to 100. I've been saying it, and it's just a matter of time. So what is your time worth? Right? I'm a long-term holder for this. I've been trading it for 3 years now, if not longer. And I was buying it when it was $13 a share, and I was pounding the table. I mean, I remember in the Uncle Bruce show, I was saying, people, you need to buy Unity. Unity's $13. Unity's $14. And people were doing $12 cash secure puts, 13. I was just like, just buy the damn stock or sell cash secure puts, whatever. I mean, you're making money, right? But that was the time to really jump in. So that's what I would do, as far as cash secure puts and covered calls with Unity. Arch. Archer Aviation is another company I'm trading, man. I'm up 122% on it. Jesus Christ, I'm at a good call on that. It's trading at $13. It's taking a little bit of a jab, but look for it to go down to 12, man. If it went down to 12, don't be scared to sell some um January 12s. January 10s even. If you really don't really if you think it's gonna go even lower and you want to make some money on it, sell some $10 cash secure puts and put in a stinker, a stink bid of like $1.50, for that's 15% return on a maybe. You want to put those shares to you, do a $12 cash secure put for January and get paid. Ask for 240, 250 over 20, 20, what, 22, 21%, for your troubles. I mean, what's wrong with that? And if you put those shares, you're basically buying it under 10. If you don't, then you just made, over 20% for your troubles. What is wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong. If I was trying to sell some cash secure or some covered calls, I wouldn't be scared to go to October. I would sell some $15 covered calls. If it runs to $14, sell some $15 covered calls, ask for $4. Get taken out at 19. What is wrong with that? Sell some January, let's see here. Yeah, no, like sell some 15s, some 15s for, oh, never mind. I was looking at the puts for the other one. Cash secure puts, January would be, 225 for the 12. So you basically could put a 250 stinker. And then for calls, I would do go to January, go to sell some 15s and ask for $3. Again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see what we got going here. Charlie C is saying NVIDIA, SoFi, GME, BBAI, and a 0 or 1 DT. I don't do 0 days to expiry. Wrong channel, buddy. All right, let's do SoFi. SoFi. Well, I told you guys on Friday to sell some covered calls, some 25s, right? I think 25s for September, we're giving $3, I want to say. Let's see here. I could have said January, but I may have said both actually. So 25s, 25 calls for January. We're giving someone got $3.10. I told you guys $3. And see that? There it is. Somebody got 310. What is wrong with that? Those are already at 266. So this person's making money already, man. Let's see the Octobers. I also said Octobers and selling some 25s. And I said, I think $2. I said $2 for the 25s in October. Somebody got 195. What is wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. At this point, it's taking a hit. So I would look at puts. Look for October. Do some $20 cash secure puts on SoFi and get paid $1.75. Ask for $1.75. What is wrong with that? Go to January. You really want to dare the market to take you at 20? Go to January and ask for $2.50. For $20 puts. Nothing wrong with that at all. Get some money. Get paid to buy the stock. Why not? Let's see here. NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. Let's see here. Where am I? I'm doing good in NVIDIA too. NVIDIA's $172, right? I have some 170s that I sold for 2026. And I think I sold some 185 for 2027. I'm at this point I'm doing cash grabs because I'm trying to sit on as much cash as possible. I bought back all my cash secure puts last week. I think I actually sold some, I think on BBAI, but nothing too crazy. I think QBTS I sold some on just because it was down 5-6%, and I may have sold a couple more. But Nvidia, here we go. Don't be scared to write some January calls, man. Sell calls, say fuck it. They're the market to take you out. Sell some $200 cover calls for $10. Get $1,000. Why not? Get $1,000 to sell your Nvidia at $200 a share. Basically, someone will be gifting you $20,000 for your 100 shares for your troubles, January 16th, 2026. If that's the worst case scenario, you can always roll. Remember that. But worst case scenario, somebody exercises you at $200, you get paid $20,000. The stock is at 172, so that's $17,200. You're making more than that. You're asking for more. If you were to do a buy right, you would be making $2,800 plus 10. That's $3,800 for your troubles. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Do you want to dare the market to take you to? Do you want to get paid to buy it? Basically, to put those shares to you. Well, you're at 172. Write some 165s for January. Get paid 14, 15 bucks. So you're essentially buying it for $150 a share. What is wrong with that? Getting Nvidia 150. I would wait for a pullback though. I would actually wait for a day where it goes down, I don't know, 10 bucks. Wait for a 5% drawdown. I would love to buy. Look, I bought at 90. I was pounding the table when it was at 90 and 80, and it went down to like the 70s, right? So now it's so profit for me. And I think I was doing $90 cash secure puts, $100 cash secure puts, and those are done. I bought them back already. I got paid. But waiting for it to go back to 150 would not be the worst idea. And then you could do 130s, 140s, and get paid for that. So why not? Let's see. What else? BBAI. All right, BBAI. All right. Let's see here. BBAI. I have some $7 puts expiring January, and I think I got like 195 for that. No, the 190. I sold a couple of cash secure puts for 190. I sold some sevens. So I mean, essentially, I'm buying it at $5.10. Not the worst thing in the world, right? It's a stock I want. My average on it is 470. So what is wrong with buying it, for 510? There's nothing wrong with that at all. Averaging up a little bit, but I mean, I just want the shares and I'm getting paid for that. Do you own it? I would wait for our green day. And if I was to sell some, I would probably sell some tens. So $10 calls, right? And I would go to January and I would ask for $3. Just put a stinker there. Let somebody give you, $300 to buy the shares at $1,000 for $1,000, and then you're basically selling at 25% profit, and you're taking in the premium. I mean, that's insane. That's pretty high fucking IV. It's 116%. That's insane. What is wrong with that trade? Absolutely nothing. Get paid to have the stock rent space in your portfolio. I've said it before. I look at stocks in my portfolio. My portfolio is a building. Stocks are the tenants. You have to pay me rent to stay there. Bottom line. Some pay more than others, but I mean, that's just the way that it works, right? You're not going to have a tenant. And I mean, you may like a tenant a lot, right? And they're nice people, but at the end of the day, there's a business deal, right? It's all business, it's not personal. Take feelings away from it all and then get paid to hold the stock. Why not? Let's see, Neo, I'm actually, I have over 150 calls. I have $15 calls expiring 2027, January. And I think my average is down to like 30, I want to say 37. something like that, 37 cents. It's starting to come alive. I'm just waiting for it to pop. It goes to $6, $7, maybe $8. I'm going to sell those, and maybe be up 200-300%, and then go shares. After I sell those calls, and then go in and do some cash secure puts until I put those shares. That's what I do. Open Door Technologies. It's just, I've been trading for a while. Anybody that knows me, that's been seeing my is following my channel for a few months. 4 or 5 months ago, I was pounding the table. It was 80 cents, 70 cents a share. I was telling people, do $1 cash secure puts. Get paid to buy the stock, right? That's a big thing for me. Get paid to buy a stock you want. If you're an investor, invest, but get paid. You don't have to wait months for your stock to go and run up, right? So that you can make money. You can make money to buy the stock. Get paid right away. You're an investor at this point, right? I don't invest in stocks, man. I'm a company holder. I'm a company owner. And that's the way you got to look at yourself. It's all a business transaction. And if a company is going to do business with you, right? Like, for example, companies, they charge you to do business with them, right? Companies like Amazon, Netflix, HBO. Those companies charge you a fee monthly so that you can have access to their product, right? My product is my money and my time. I'm believing in you because you're a company, right? Well, then you have to pay me to give you my product and time. And that's just the way you got to look at things. If you can get that mindset through, you start making some serious money. So, yep, that's about when it comes to NIO. That's where I'm at. Now, if you're holding the stock, right? If you are holding the shares and you are low enough, let's say you're at $3 average or $4 average, if you want to get paid, wait for it to run up a little bit and sell some cut calls. I will wait for the IV to go higher though. I will wait for the IV to go maybe above 90, right? 75 is cool, but I like for it to get to above $6 a share. But if you really want to write and get paid, sell some $5 covered calls for January and get, ask for 75 cents. Get $75 for every 100 shares. Why not? Or if you want to get paid to buy it, I would wait for a day that comes back down closer to 4, and I do some $4 cash secure puts. Ask for 80 cents. Get paid 20% to buy January 2026. Not the worst thing in the world. I honestly think that NIO's starting to recover at this point, though. So be mindful of that. What else do we got here? Charlie saying I got some $19 SoFi August 15 puts that are almost ready to roll. Hopefully, I'll be able to roll this week. If SoFi goes over 22, I'll be rolling to either 22s or 25s out to mid-September. Wait, so you have some puts and you're going to roll 19s to 25? That makes no sense to me, man. Charlie, that makes no sense because you're basically paying to buy them for more. Why don't you just let that die worthless or buy it back like for 5 cents and then do 20s for January and get paid? Or if you're going to do 22s, do 22s for January. I think we're in a downturn, man. I mean, do you want the free money? I mean, is it just a cash grab? Are you investing? I mean, do you want the shares? I don't understand. Like, if you really want the shares and you want to do 25s, then do 25s to January. Get more money. If you truly want the shares, then They don't want. Why don't you just do 22s to August? I mean, I don't understand that trade. I don't know. You got some 19s. You already up on a lot, but I mean, they're gonna start getting more expensive because SoFi is coming down. So it's up to you, bro. I would keep the 19s and just go to January. I mean, I would have done that when SoFi was $23 on Fridays, Thursday. But I mean, I don't understand the logic in rolling when it's already coming down because your puts are more expensive. Unless you're talking calls, I'm confused there. Clarify. Um, Moneymaker Juan, what's up, Juan? ¿Qué pasó? I'm in Ari, got in on AR. You're in Arizona, I'm guessing. Okay. You were an Archer around 8. I think you were the one that was talking about it. I sold 10 or 11 calls and I let a few go. That's fine. You got paid. That's the whole point of the stock market, to make money, right? You make money. I like it. What are my thoughts on MP? Bought at 46, now 64. Let's see. What is MP? I don't know all the tickers, by the way, guys. So let's see here. Oh, MP Materials. I don't follow it. So I'm hesitant to talk about a company that I don't really follow. But here, let's just have a quick glance. The 52-week low is $10, and the high is 64. You're at a 52-week high already. I stay away from it. That shit's on its way down. It's ran too hot, way hot, way hot. I mean, there's a lot of legs I see up there, but I mean, do you really want the shares? Do you really want the stock? Wait for a red day and then go out to October. I mean, the puts are telling you all you need to know. They're pretty expensive. I would go to January. I would sell a $60 put and try to get $11 for it. So you're basically buying at 49, but it's too close to the 52-week high, man. I don't know. At this point, if you have it and your average is $40-$50, sell a call. It's $63 right now. Sell some 70s. For January, get paid $11. I mean, damn, that's a lot. Get paid $11 to sell it at 70, or get paid $1,000 to get $1,000 to sell at 75. I would like that better, because if it's running hot and it keeps running, then you're guaranteed to sell. Basically, you're selling at 85. There's nothing wrong with that. And if it goes down, then you bleed those out. Yeah, that's how I would trade that. So let's see here. That's my thoughts on MP. So Charlie's saying, I was looking at MP Mark. Looks like a good trade for the only U.S. magnet mineral company. Government deals signed, etc. Okay, I see what you guys are doing. Like if you guys have been following it for a while, you know how it's trading. That's I see nothing wrong with the cash secure puts or the covered calls that I just talked about, because if it's a company you want, why not buy it for 20% less than where it is and get paid for that? And if you're gonna sell it, why not sell it for like 20% more than where it is at? Nothing wrong with that, and you're getting paid for that. So either way, you're making money, right? Another company that I'm looking at, Webull. Okay, Webull. Yes, I need to talk to you guys about Webull. I'm doing my research, right, and I saw that they actually they did they inked a deal after hours with a company that I don't really like, man. And I'm trying to look for it at this point. Yeah, I'm honestly, I have some cash secure puts, some 1250s on Webull that are, I was gonna wait for it to keep going up, and then I was gonna buy them on Monday, but I'm buying them first thing Monday. I'm gonna put a bid in, and I'm getting out. I have some $20 calls that I sold, and I'm actually down on those, but those are gonna go down on Monday, and I'm looking for Webull to touch $14. I'm getting out, guys. I don't like the company they're doing business with. That company they're doing business with seems to have done business in the past with other companies, and those companies end up going bankrupt. Now, I'm not saying Webull is going to go bankrupt. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is I've already made money on Webull. I'm going to liquidate, and I want to see how this pans out. I'm going to give it a few weeks, if not a month, and I'm going to really look into this company that they're trading with or that they're doing business with. I think is going to be in charge of selling, I think, 50 million shares for them in some way. And I don't know if it's a cap call transaction that they're doing, but I don't like it. It's kind of iffy, and I'm running for the hills. So if you guys are trading Webull at this point, not financial advice, but I am personally going to buy back my cash secure puts, buy back my covered calls. I've already made money on them. And as soon as those clear, I'm going to then sell my shares wherever it is at. Hopefully it's above 14 bucks. But if it's at 12, I'm still making money. However, I'm looking at Webull to take it in the chin for a bit. And, like I said, I'm going to see how these things pan out. That company they're doing business with, I don't like it. Webull is a good company, but, sometimes good companies make bad decisions. And that's just the nature of doing business, I guess. Let's see here. What do we got here? Moneymaker Juan, Charlie, Beach Boy. Yo, shalom, my brother. How you doing? Yeah, buddy. Good to see you, Beach Boy. Talking about Webull, man. And they're planning to consolidate and relaunch crypto, but they're doing some business with a company that I think is a little shady, man. So I am personally going to run for the hills. Like I said, I'm going to buy back my cash secure puts. I'm going to buy back my covered calls, and I'm going to sell all my positions on Webull, and I'm going to see how it pans out with what they're working on in this company they're doing business with, because I personally I don't like it, and I think the overall market feels the same way because they sold off on Friday night. I couldn't sell because I was at the hospital, and the internet connection there was terrible, and I couldn't load any information. And I don't like to just sell without knowing what is going on, right? Because sometimes there's overreactions, right? But like I said, I did research on this company that they deal with, and I don't like it, so I'm going to get out of that. Though that being said, let's now go and move on to Open Door Technologies. Open Door Technologies, baby. Yeah, man. I sold a few thousand shares. I more than recovered my initial investment. At this point, I'm just writing it. I sold some $5 covered calls for 60 cents, and I think it was like 40 covered calls, and then take me out at 5. Right, I have a few thousand that I have not done anything with in case this definitely is a squeeze, a gamma squeeze of some sort. It's going to $10 a share. If it goes to 10, I'm selling everything. I'm selling it all at $10 a share, and I'm going to roll my 5s to probably 5s in 2027 and take in a big chunk of cash. And at this point, it's all casino money. So it's all house money at this point, man. So it's all a profit. I'm taking it and running for the hills, guys. That's what I'm doing. Look, if it on Monday, tomorrow, if it goes down to like 175, it would not be the worst thing in history to buy, 100, 200 shares and then have it recovered and see what it does. Um, you could do some cash secure puts, right? Some $1 cash secure puts out to January, and you can ask for like, I don't know, 30 cents or something, see what happens, right? But I mean, that time has come and gone, guys. I'm sorry to say. At this point, it's just you're in the roller coaster. I still haven't seen anything as far as in the news pertaining Open Door Technologies. But whenever you hear something in the news, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, sell it, because it's buy the rumor, sell the news at this point, right? Right now, everybody's just it's just saying, what if this is the next Carvana? And this is like on Reddit, on X, right? In different chat rooms. So people are now comparing it to the Carvana. That's a great thing for an investor like me that's been on it, and my average is under $1. But as soon as it touches $10, I'm running for the hills. That's just what I'm doing, because I already sold to recover. Let's see. Beach Boy saying thumbs up, people. Show love to the Credit Savage. I appreciate it. If you guys can do a thumbs up, that'll be great. If you guys can share, that'd be awesome. If you guys can watch my videos on loop, when you're gonna leave the house, right? And you're like, whatever, I'm gonna have the Savage on loop and play all the videos, that'd be awesome, because that's kind of helping with the algo. And like I said, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subs so that I can get the super chat going. You're not gonna hear me talk to you about buying my classes. I'm not one of those. I'm not gonna tell you to go and buy tickets to go and meet me somewhere for personal one-on-ones, right? But since I am going to spend time out of my day and away from my kids, right, and dedicating time to the channel, it would be awesome if when it's time that I do have the super chat and you guys make money. It'd be great if I could have a couple of donations. Hey, like, you make $1,000 in the market, because of a couple of stocks that we've been talking about here, and you're like, you got some new perspective on a trade or two, and you're like, you know what, I made $1,000. Here's $20, Savage. Because it'll help me decorate the wall. Like I said, I'm trying to have a thing here where we're gonna have something like some Savage back here, with a spear in the jungle. I don't know, man. I'm like I said, I already bought a bear, so I'm in the red when it comes to investing in this channel already, because this cost me like $30. And I bought a bull. You guys will know how I feel about the market based on what you guys see back here. So if you see a bear, that tells you all you need to know as far as how I'm feeling about the market. If you see a bull on the other side, that tells you how I'm feeling about the market then, right? So it's gonna be pretty simple. Maybe get a new and faster computer, maybe a better camera. I saw that I was a little grainy the other day on the camera. I don't know if it's the camera or if it's something online. I want to figure out how to highlight the comments here, right? Because I'm not trying to pin messages at this point, but I'm just trying to see how we're gonna go about engaging with the audience here. See, like right now, I just participants, moderation activity. Oh, hold on, what is this? Will be shown. No, let's not do that. Timestamps. Do we want timestamps? I don't think we need timestamps. Pop out chat. No, I don't want that. Set feedback. See, that's the thing. I don't know how to highlight comments just yet, guys. I want to find out though. I haven't, had time to research as much. Channel level settings. That's a different thing altogether, I think. Yeah. See, I'm trying to make sure that I show your comments, but I'm trying to see. Create QR for this page. Translate to English. Frame inspect. Yeah, I'm trying to see how this pin message, report, move, put user in timeout. I'm gonna put some mofos in timeout. That's what I'm gonna do. No, I can't. I can't do it just yet. So I gotta figure out highlight um how to highlight the comments or whatnot. You know, Jared saying what's up. JJ saying the Savage Indicator. That's what we're trying to do, man. Premium of the option. What up, Poto? Happy Sunday, man. Rugman poster in the back too. That's right. Okay, Ricardo. Thank you for that. Let's see if it's a little high. Let's see if we can get it down. Oh shit. All right. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I got a really weird clunky desk here, you know, and I'm trying to see the best setup. All right, let's see here. How does this work? I'm gonna move this. But see, I feel if I do this, you guys are gonna see my big face. Would that be too close? I think that's too close, man. You guys don't think that's too close? Let's see here. Yeah, see, that's now you can't see the bear though. That's the thing. I was trying to make sure you guys can see the bear. My camera is a little high, right? Okay, so they only make this to goes to specific. All right, what about if I do this? Is it better? Is this better? Austin saying good afternoon. What up, Austin? All right, so let's see here. I might have to drop the picture down. Ah, all right. Well, but now it looks all. Now I don't have access to my laptop as fast as I should. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Well, let's go with this for now, right? But see, now I gotta drop the picture, and then I gotta find out what to do over here. But you know, I feel like I'm too close though. It's like my big fat face. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know, man. Does this work? All right, we'll get it going. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Does that work better? I think that's better, right? I think I said I have access to my laptops here, so that's cool. All right. But you can't see the indicator? Really? Ricardo saying, you'll work it out. I've always listened to you. You got me into AI back in the day. All right, well, good. I'm glad, man. Yeah, no, AI is it's a good company. It's heavily shorted too. That's the thing. It's a heavily shorted stock, low float, not many shares available. It's going to pop. It is a powder keg, my friend. And that's the thing about me. I like to look for companies that have not that many shares available, and it can move up and down quickly because the IV is just that much better. And you know, the higher the IV, the better the premiums, right? But you have to look at companies that have really good fundamentals too. So that's the trick, and it takes a lot of research to do so because it's not readily available sometimes. You really got to get into the nitty gritty of the prospectus, and sometimes you have to go and down the rabbit hole, and it's not into page like 195 or 350 that you'll find something, right? So that's my background research. So I enjoy it, but some people may think it's just too much. All right, here we go. Lucid. Lucid, you know what? It's another of my babies. Now, Lucid used to be $20 a share. It was $50 a share at a point, right? It is 97% down since then, but it's $3. And then it was just 190 something. Let's see, the 52-week low was like 193. I was doing $2 cash secure puts for 40 cents, and I was getting put those shares. So my average is way down at this point. I have thousands of shares, and it just went up, because they just signed a deal with Uber. The Lucid Gravity is an insanely good car. Okay. They just broke the Guinness World Record for best battery charge. They actually were able to go 750 miles for one charge with a Lucid Gravity. That is insane. That is insane. And I like it. I really like it. I like the company. It's the same guy that made the Tesla car. He went his own way. He wasn't seeing eye to eye with Elon. And you know what? He was really the brains behind Tesla. And so he started his own company. It's going to take a while, man. Again, this is not a company that, like I said, I don't get into any company without knowing that I'm going to be in it for 5 years. I don't deal with any company that I'm not willing to hold for at least 5 years. If you take that approach, you're not just going to save yourself a lot of pain by thinking, is this company worth it? Like, it's worth it. And you're also going to learn patience. And that's the hardest thing to learn in this game is patience, right? At this point, when it comes to Lucid, I don't recommend selling any calls on it. I say sell cash secure puts. You can go and sell $3 cash secure puts for 75 cents to 80 cents, January 2026. Basically, almost 30% for buying a company that you like, if you like Lucid, if that's your cup of tea, right? That's what I would do. That's what I am doing. And I'm just, at this point, accumulating shares. Lucid is going to be $10 a share. And if it does that, when it does that, then I'm going to sell some 15s out 6 months and get paid for that. But until then, I'm not selling any covered calls. So I'm not going to, I don't recommend you sell covered calls on Lucid because it can pop at any minute. But if I was, I would say it's just not worth it, man. But if you were to sell covered calls, I say put a stinker of 40 cents on the $5 calls for January 2026. And I mean, that's just, I'm doing it because, like, if we're investors, right? And we sell, we write. That's what option writers do. They write, and I get it. But remember when Uncle Bruce was saying, "Don't write on SoFi, $8. Wait for it to write on that." And he was saying, "Wait." It was 9 and 10 and 11. He said, "Just wait, wait." Friday is the first time I heard him say, "Write on SoFi." He said, "Write 25s out, to August or September." And I went a bit further and said, "Write October, write December. Get paid $3 a share to write 25s." And you know what? I was right. He was right. And he was telling you for a reason, because he sees weakness, and so do I. And so, conversely, I just don't think it's the right time to write on Lucid, right? And I'm just personally going to wait. At this point, it's cash secure puts. And I'm loading. I am loading on Lucid at this point. We talked about BBAI. SMCI is another one of my babies. Super microcomputer. It is, you know what? It's the 52-week high was $80. It could go to $80. I would, on a day that it runs 5% or more, I would go to January, saying this next week it goes to 55. I would go to January and I would sell some 60s. or 65s, and I would ask for $10 a share. Not the worst thing in the world. You're basically selling for $75 a share. It's a stock that's $50 a share. So you're selling it for 33% more than where it is now. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing. If you were to do a put, I would go to January and I would do 45s. Wait for it to scale down, come down some. If it goes to 48, 47 bucks, write some 45s and get paid $7. So essentially you're buying for 38. Nothing wrong with that. Go to January 2026. Get paid to buy the stock, right? And I mean that's the approach you have to take when it comes to the market, right? And I mean there's so many more companies, and I've already been on over an hour. I honestly just wanted to come in for like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but it's just I ended up talking way more because I get really like passionate about this. But let's see, let's move on back so you guys can see the bear, the indicator, the Wall Street indicator, baby. All right, we're down a little bit now again. All right. So yeah, guys, that's what I have for you guys, man. Tomorrow I'm looking to go live right after the Uncle Bruce show. And just like today, as soon as Uncle Bruce locks off, I'm probably going to go and live and we're going to talk about trades. And it's going to be cool because we're actually going to get to do it real time, right? The market's going to be open. You guys are going to get to see the trades that I make real time. And you guys will know that I'm not full of shit because you'll be seeing my trades. I'll say, hey, I just put in a bid for this and I put in a bid for that. Or I just made a trade for this. And you guys can go and check it out and be like, sure enough, there it is. Just a Unity cash secure put or covered call or BBAI or whatever I'm trading at the moment. You guys will be seeing real time and see that's it. That's the Savage. And I'll be able to see and follow you guys as well. If there's a specific trade you guys are talking about, I will be able to see it. You have questions about a specific trade, I'll be able to see it. And the market is live. It's a live entity, right? So it's the best time to go hunting when you can see the prey. And that's it, man. The stock markets are bitch. That's just the way you got to look at it. You got to make the stock market your bitch. You got to make money. You got to take into account that we have to go looking for dumbass dummies, man. And that's the people that pay our bills, or these emotional degenerate gamblers out there that are trying to finance me going to Reno this next week for my birthday. I am going to be drinking some champagne. Somebody's got to pay for it, and I don't want to pay for it out of my pocket. So I'd rather have some degenerate gambler pay for my my champagne that I'm going to drink. Some of it is going to get comped, I'm sure, but some of it is not. Is there any specific trade you guys are looking at that are nervous about or thinking about? Let's see here. Jared is saying the better you can see it now. Lucid, catch your puts on Lucid. That's right. Need more dry powder. Be the casino. Yeah, man. Right now it's all about sitting on cash. I closed most of my cash secure puts last Friday and Thursday. I'm sitting on I think 30% cash at this point. Maybe I'm trying to get to 50% cash. I sold a ridiculous amount of covered calls already. I rolled some others. Cash secure puts, I rolled some others. I think open I rolled. And I brought in a few $1,000. So, I mean, it's dealer's choice at this point, right? You have the cash, you make the call, cash is king. And that's just the way you got to look at it as well. So, I'm excited for tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the executive branch is going to open their orange mouth and tank the market, or let's see if it's going to make it go up, which case it's a beautiful orange mouth, right? So, take what the market gives you. Take what the market gives you. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm excited to see what happens with Webull. I'm excited to see what happens with Unity. I'm excited to see what happens with QBTS. Let's see what other there's some new stocks that I'm trading, guys. By the way, and I want to let you guys in on it because I want you guys to like just you don't have to trade, just follow it. Enphase is a good one. Enphase is actually it's low right now. It's 39.55, and if you know, I actually sold I want to say a January 40, and I got like $7.60 for it. So you know, I'm basically buying Enphase for 32.40. Not the most terrible thing. Um, let's see. QUBT. QUBT. It is quantum computing, and I think I wrote a cash account put on it, $18 put, and I received I think 530. Yep, $530 to basically buy at 13.50. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? It's a pretty high IV. I'm getting paid. QBTS, that's another one. D-Wave Quantum, QBTS. Again, I did $18 put, and I asked for 475. So they gave it to me. That's where we're at. Starting a position on those. I've been following them for a while, and I wish I would have bought when it was at I think $3 or $4, but I honestly thought it was not the real deal. I was like, let me look at them, but let me see if they have any weakness, and they just kept going up, you know. And at this point, they're up, but I see nothing wrong with starting a position at 33% less from where they are. Sue me, right? Sorry. Anyhow, that's what I have for you guys today, man. I'm gonna hit the road. I'm gonna go with the kiddies on a nice little walk right now. I told them I was gonna take them out hiking, so I'm gonna go hiking. We're gonna grab some chow and see you guys tomorrow, man. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Ricardo Canales, Austin, JJ, Beach Boy. Thank you for watching. Moneymaker, Charlie, C2, Mark C, Jude, Cannon Fodder, Ken's mom. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, guys. And see you guys tomorrow, probably around 8 a.m. West Coast. That's probably going to be 11 Eastern because that's when Uncle Bruce usually goes off. So as soon as the guy logs off, I'm going live, guys. You guys have a great one. Thank you for watching. I'm Fred Savage. You guys, let's kill it with this stock market tomorrow. Check into the Credit Savage of Wall Street for what's going on with the markets tomorrow. And thank you so much, Rory. You're in a little late, man. I'm logging up at this point, but look up RXRX, QBTS, OBTS, Unity, SMCI, all those companies. All right, guys. Peace.